John from Ripewave Audio, and for this video, we're going to talk about some issues we're having with the Marantz Cinema 50. And if you've been following this channel, this unit we purchased right when the new series came out in 2022. It's been in-house ever since. We've been living with some of these problems. We've contacted Marantz. Of course, it's still under warranty. They're going to take this unit back, but I wanted to tell you about some of these things and how we troubleshooted them. And of course, these may not be inherent problems with the design, just my particular unit has these problems, so keep that in mind. First one is a pretty simple issue. The IEC power cord, and these are removable on this unit, is a little loose and it doesn't have a firm fit when you plug it in. If I replace this with a different cord, it works fine, but the one that came with the unit, if I bump it in any given way, the unit shuts down, restarts. It's just not in there securely. And of course, if you just get a new power cord, that's fine. That's not enough to send the unit back. I could always just get another cord. But there's some other issues. So the first one that I want to talk about is with our cable box. And it's only with our cable box. Now, you might say the problems with either the box or the signal coming to our house. And we did take that initial approach. We did have Comcast come and troubleshoot. What the problem is we're experiencing hum when connected to this unit. Now, these cable boxes use a broadband signal from the street, and that connects to the back of this unit with these coaxial connections. Then we simply just take the HDMI out and plug that into the port that's for cable TV on the back of the Cinema 50, and that should be fine. We're experiencing that hum though. We've replaced cables and we've done the simple things, but we called out Xfinity to come, and they assured us that that signal is attenuated right to our street. It's not too low, it's not too high, and that can cause some of these problems. Things are grounded properly. So from their perspective, it's as good as it's going to get. Then I decided, let's troubleshoot this a little further because we do have our Emotiva RMC1 in-house. Let's just keep everything the same box, the same cables, the same everything, and plug it into the Emotiva RMC1, and there was no hum. And in fact, we've tried this with a few other units that we've brought in, either receivers or processors, and no hum. It's only exhibiting with the Cinema 50. So I think that's a good issue for Marantz to look at, find out what is going on. Otherwise, it's not that big of a deal, but it really shouldn't be there. And I think too, if there could still be some issues with the cable box, but they do not present themselves with other units. The other thing we're having trouble with is we're not getting any sound coming out of the center channel for pre-outs. And this is the configuration we use. We're using all external amplifiers. We're using our Emotiva XPA1 second generation amplifiers. They're monoblocks. And this had been working, this configuration, but for some reason, it's not working now in the last few months. When we troubleshoot, we try to keep things as quiet as possible. What I mean by that, unplug everything. Unplug everything but what's absolutely necessary. So we took our Apple TV. We took an HDMI from that to the streaming HDMI port of the Cinema 50. I think that's port 2. And just a single cable, RCA, unbalanced cable from the center pre-out of the Cinema 50 to the XPA external amplifier. No sound. Now we're hearing it through all the other speakers, the front speakers, the side speakers, the front wides, surround back, height 1 and 2. No problem. It's just that center channel. We know the source has content in there. In fact, we can even do a test tone and we're not getting anything out. So we decided that for our troubleshooting, first thing we did was we went into the amp assign. Was there a configuration issue that was there? Now we can see that the center channel is set to yes. So my concern here is we're changing things around a lot. Did for some reason I turn that off? No, I didn't. That's still configured there. Now there is a setting there, pre-out versus speaker. And this is set to pre-out only, but this is a pre-out. In fact, pre-out is always active. There's not a condition as long as that channel's active, where Marantz disconnects the Preout. There is an opportunity to disconnect the internal amplifier, and that's where that speaker, if that speaker is not listed, it's not going to go out the internal amplifier. And that's how our default setup is. But we did try it with speaker and Preout to see if it changed anything, and it didn't. So well, what can we do now to test this out further? Well, we decided let's use those speaker outputs on the amplifiers that are built in. And when we did that, that direct speaker wire from the speaker to the center amplifier out of the Cinema 50, it worked. We could hear the sound. So we know our source is good. We know our wires are good. We know our speaker's good. We know our Apple TV is good. Everything is good there. At this point, we decided, let's see what else we can do here. Let's try hooking it back up with the Emotiva amplifier and the same speaker and the same wires. But instead of wiring it to the center speaker, and we turned it back to Preout only as well, we moved it from center to front left, and we could hear the sound. So we determined, isolated the problem. It has to be that particular Preout. In fact, we tried all the other ones, the right channels, the left channels, the height channels, the surround channels. It worked. That same wire, we're just moving it around to the different Preouts. And the only one it fails on, and it fails consistently, is center channel. So we've reported this to Marantz. They said, yes, we'll have to take a look at it. You did good troubleshooting. There's nothing more we can have you do. We have to bring it in-house to look at it. So that's good. They're honoring the warranty of the Cinema 50. And so that's really good. We'll get a box from them. What they'll do is, and they recommend this. They said, yes, if you have your original box, you can ship it back in that, but we throw that away. If you want to preserve your original box, we'll ship you one, and we'll ship it to you at no charge. So that's what they're going to do. When that happens, we'll send it out and we'll get it back when they're done. And hopefully all these issues will be resolved. So what are your thoughts on this content? Does this video help you? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. If you want to take your involvement to the next level, we do have our Patreon channel at www.patreon.com/Ripewave. You can always hit that thanks button. Now, if you want to give a one-time donation, that thanks button is very appreciated if you do that. It doesn't cost anything, though, to hit that bell notification so you're informed when the next video is posted. Until then, keep evolving your audio experience.